Hello and welcome back to the worst Warmachine channel on the internet. I'm Malorian, and it's time for another Warmachine battle report. Now, as you've probably seen from the title of this video and from like the thumbnail and stuff, I'm playing Caine2, and I'm going to be playing Caine2 for a couple of reasons. I mean, you guys see me playing lots of mercs. It's definitely a faction I love, but you know, another one I've been playing for a long time is Cygnar, and there's a couple of reasons why I want to come over and playing some Caine2 today. The first one is that the new mini crate model has been revealed, and it is going to be Robo Caine, obviously looking like RoboCop. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, you know what? Damn, I used to play Caine2 all the time. Back in Mark II, that is like one of my main casters in Cygnar that I used all the time. I should give it another try sometime. And then what also happened? Well, we got the Haley 2 nerf. So in our August errata, it was changed so that any of your colossals, gargantuans, you know, your big, huge infernal horrors that are on the huge base, well, now for them, they can't be forced to forfeit their action, which means that Haley 2 no longer works on them. Now, Haley 2 was starting to become more popular in especially like big Storm Division lists, a bunch of Storm Striders and stuff like that, because you can basically control these new elite armies that are out there. But now that you know that you can't be actually feeding on any like, you know, colossal type models, you know, like that little janky area in that huge lightning nest kind of is looking for a new owner, a new person to be stepping up to the plate. And I think that Caine2 is the one for it. So maybe the way to talk about this is let's look at the list, and maybe it'll help you understand why I took this. Now, looking at the list here, it is really a whole bunch of huge bases, right? We are here, and I am having all of the big, huge Storm Striders. I'm having Nemo 4 here that's running a Dynamo. Of course, I have the Fireflies in here. Actually, it might look weird here that I actually am having this Defender here instead of a Reliant. But what it really comes down to, in my mind, is the focus, right? Reliant would be able to get up there and get the advantage of being able to have the +2 from the Firefly. But I'm already shooting further and stronger with a Defender, and the nice thing is that since Caine usually wants to keep his focus, there's a higher likelihood that the Defender will be able just to aim and shoot from further away. And I mean, like, range is always something as well. So when we get to some of our solos, this is where we're going to be seeing the reason why I think Caine will actually be doing well here. I am going to have that Glyn Cormier where, you know, you have that banisher effect on the gun where if I can hit and damage a model, I can place it an inch. So that'd be amazing. And so for fire for effect from Caine2, yeah, that's right. Caine2 is fire for effect. You just never ever see it. So that'd be a great place for using that. I also have Bullet Dodger, and I think that's going to be doing very well here on Savio Acosta. Really getting up there and just being annoying. And I mean, like, defense 17 now, and I really wish you could actually be proccing dodge twice. But yeah, I think that should be really interesting. And even if it's not going to be there, you could be putting it onto Caine himself. But the cool thing here is that while you're usually doing all these range things, and normally like something like a Haley 2 is just supporting from the back, well, Caine2 can be going in there, shooting the gun, killing off things in the way, like some little infantry that you want to be wasting shots on, and then be like gate crashing away, or using the feat where it makes your shot stronger each single shot you get, and then like take a heavy off the board. So I think that Caine2 might actually have a good spot here. Plus there's also the different shot types you could be using. I think that there's something here, and I really want to test it. All right, on the other side of the board, my opponent is Kieren, and Kieren is going to be running this new list that I love, which is this, you know, Gunnbjorn2, what's the full name here? Brigadier General Gunnbjorn, right? So this list is just wild. I know that some of the global meta is already seeing this, but I mean, I just love the idea of seeing these trolls that are now just taking all these guns. There's all the different guns you can be fitting into here. Of course, you have like, you know, the bomber, Dozer and Smigg and stuff for the battle group, but then now you have like the Warwagon, you have the bombardiers, you have the lookouts, you just have all these different little shooty pieces all put together. And like, here I am thinking that like, I'm Cygnar, I'm the shooty faction, and these trolls are like, I got my own guns. And so if you haven't played against this, wow, it is just wild how much damage this list can actually do. And yeah, you know, look out for things like anything with an AoE, because with the feat here, for those who don't know, basically there is no blast damage during the feat. Blast damage will be regular damage, plus you also get like the repo and stuff. But yeah, you can be doing tons of damage with this list. So luckily, I believe that I'm in the position where I can be the first one to get the alpha and shoot my guns first. So that helps. But yeah, I really need to get in there and take some things out, because if I don't, yeah, it'll just kind of shoot me off the board. All right, let's look here at the deployment, and what's happening here is that I won the turn to go first, which really helps. So Kieren decided to take that side over there. And then looking at how this terrain is, you know, I am stuck with this house, which is going to kind of break my deployment up here. So I basically plan one Stormstrider to be kind of off here on the right, and then I have my everything else kind of like more here on the left. Now that forest is going to be bothering me as well. However, I kind of feel that I'm going to really want to have Dynamo down the center, and then the defender, depending on how things go, might go one way, might go the other. I can be a little bit flexible here, but I'm really happy that I'm getting first turn so I can rush up there and then be able to hopefully get a spot where I don't care where you are, I can kind of shoot you. Now, the terrain that we're seeing here, we got 3 forests. We already talked about the building. I have a trench. He has a wall over there with 2 trenches because he gets 2 for the theme. There's a cloud over there, another wall, and then I got some rough terrain here on the left. Because of that cloud, the objective I took is the one that gives me true sight. So that's the idea there, is that if he tries hiding behind the cloud, even my Stormstrider on the right can actually still see it. And then for himself, I believe he gave his the Pathfinder, but I mean, honestly, it's kind of so far off on the side, it's likely not going to do too much. And I mean, looking at what he's trying to do here, I mean, that's perfect placement for that battle engine. It can go over the water. Everything can kind of come straight up and then just kind of like shoot away at me. Actually, kind of the things that are going to be helping me survive is that building is actually going to be giving me a spot that Caine can hide. So that's fantastic. Caine can take some shots and be like gate crasher back behind the house again. And then maybe even I'll be using that forest on the left as well, because I got that little like nook in there. So maybe I can protect myself. Like it seems all the time one of the first things I lose is Dynamo. So like, yeah, it'd be nice to kind of protect Dynamo, maybe hide in a spot where I can't be shot by too many things. So yeah, my first turn here is the plan is just to run up, get my upkeeps out, and try and be in a spot where I'm not in his threat. All right, so looking at the next turn here, I mean, really the big thing is that I think Dozer and Smigg can like trample on up and shoot, and so they threat kind of like 22 inches. So I laid down the stick on the left, moved on up. The only interesting thing that really happened there on the left is that, you know, I place myself up with Numo 4. I go and get a free solo, so I bring in the captain, the gun mage captain, because it has things where I can be taking away stealth. That could be cool, but more so it's going to be for flaring, just to make sure I can hit things more easier, and hell, just getting another shot in there as well. I'm going to locomotion up my Dynamo, which probably wasn't needed because it really couldn't go the full distance anyway, and then put Lightning Shroud on it. Like I said, I put Fire for Effect onto Glyn, and then the Bullet Dodger up onto Savio, and you can kind of see there on the right that although I put my little stick measuring the threat on the left, I didn't do that on the right. And I mean, like, Savio is going to be like defense 15, going up to 17, possibly cover there, going out to 21, but he's all about blast damage. So I've kind of made a little bit of mistake over there, getting a little bit too aggressive for what I wanted to be doing. All right, so on his turn here, he's going to be doing his best to move up. Of course, a lot of his guns are not in range. He does shoot one AoE over at Savio, misses, so thanks to dodge, I could actually like properly put myself behind the house, so I'm actually safe. It does do like 4 damage to the Firefly though, so it takes some early damage. But otherwise, you can see that he's basically just trying to start moving up. He's also using a lot of time trying to think about all the Electra leaps. I mean, that's something you need to do against this list, right? There's a lot of Electra leaps to be thinking about. And so with the pigs, he tried putting them in safe spots, and like the ones that won't be safe, okay, don't be 4 inches by other things. You know, with his larger models, he was trying to spend time trying to think what's going to be Electra leaping to what. So, you know, I lost a little bit of damage there. But the other thing he was able to do too is, because he has a lot of ways for re-rolling scatters and distances, actually I was able to get a blast pretty easily onto my Glyn Cormier. And I mean, like, the armor is not very high. I mean, the defense is okay. I got stealth, but with the scatter, it still got me. Now, do I feel badly that I maybe put her too far up? Not really. She needed to be somewhere effective. I did make it so that they had to kind of like get a good scatter. So it's just one of these things that's going to happen. So with this here, I already see a clock advantage. That's nice. I need to get an attrition advantage. If I can't take off some of these serious models right away, I'm just going to be in a ton of trouble. So my 2 objectives for this next turn is I really want to be taking off the Dozer and Smigg, and I also want to be taking off the battle wagon, because I know that little war wagon there, I mean, not only can it do some really good damage to me, but it'll get in my face, it'll clog me up while everything else can be in position to really hurt me, and I really just need to get out of here. Now, one of the problems with Dozer is he did the foxhole, so he's in there in cover. If he didn't have cover, he's behind a wall, so I'm going to need to knock him down, and luckily he put a model behind it, thinking more so being there base to base for the Electra leaps, but that also means that when Nemo 4 shoots it, even if I push it, it's not going anywhere. So my idea is to shoot it down with Nemo, and then after that, just try and shoot it down. So let's see how well this went. So on my turn 2, that's what I do. By the way, I also decide to make this Caine's feet turn. I decide to try and get some damage going into the battle engine. So that's what I do first, and then I gate crasher back behind the house. Again, like Caine, that armor that was really high. I think it would turn out being armor 21 with the stone effect going on it. So I didn't get that much damage on it, but hey, I needed to try and start getting these things going. Then I went up with my Nemo. I did the locomotion. I did the shots, and was able to knock it down. Like, after I tuned up and I gave the extra focus to the Dynamo, I'm rolling 4 dice, drop the lowest. So it's pretty easy for me to make sure I can hit when I need to. And then once it was knocked down, of course I ran up the Firefly there first. I mean, that's just obvious. But I mean, on the left, I go up there with that Storm Strider. It starts shooting into it, doing some really big damage. I'm able to go over with the one on the right. It comes in, does some big damage. But the big thing is that I was able to kill Dozer and Smigg before I had to start shooting with Dynamo, and that meant that the locomotion was not necessary whatsoever. I only I only cast locomotion for 1 because that's what I needed, just to kind of get around and shoot Dozer, but I didn't need it whatsoever. And so even though through all this shooting the objectives were met, I shot down both those key models, I am sitting there with 0 camp on Nemo 4. Now, when I was trying to boost my last shot and I still wasn't sure whether I was going to be meeting my objective, I was wondering if I was in danger, I looked across and I'm like, well, the 2 main things are going to shoot me. I took those off the table. The bomber is out of range, so there's a lot of small things that can shoot me, but not too much. And like, one of the things I did here as well is like Savio just kind of like runs into his face just to kind of like give him a lot of order of activation issues. So that's hopefully going to take him a little bit of work to unlock. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm feeling really good about this. I did a lot of attrition, a lot of work, and yeah, now we'll just kind of see what he does back to me. I'm kind of guessing I'm going to be losing the left Storm Strider, which could be a bit of an issue. However, I don't lose the left Storm Strider. I do get some big damage on it. I think it actually goes down to like 4 boxes or something like that. Oh yeah, he just wallops it. But the big thing here is that Gunnbjorn2, it has a really, really good gun. Like, really good gun. And what I mean by that is that it has a POW 12 gun. Oh, that's doesn't sound great to you? Oh, it's armor piercing. So it went into my Nemo 4 there and just blew up the dice. And like right away, the thing is like half dead or more than half dead. And it's like, oh no, I see where this is going. So the other shots start coming in and it's able to take it down. But I tell you, if I was just camping one or like definitely two more, it's never happening. If I was camping one more, it would not be happening. I mean, looking at it, I did not need a locomotion. I did not need lightning shroud. Like looking at how this game is, it's a gunfight. It's not a stabby fight. I don't need to have lightning shroud out. I should not have been upkeeping that spell. So I'm like, oh, now I've lost not only that massive piece, but I've also lost Dynamo as well. I mean, Dynamo is sitting there inert. I could go over there with Caine to reactivate it, but I'm basically then going to die, right? I'm not even in a spot right now where I could even do that. I'd have to kind of like plan ahead and get there. So this was crippling. Like here I had this amazing turn, but just because, you know, I was bad with focus management basically and threat assessment, I lost so much of my army. Now, the good news here is that he has also used up a ton of time. I believe at this point he was getting close to already just having like 20 minutes left. So I'm going to keep on trying to play this out. And now I am not thinking of like an assassination. I am not thinking of trying to actually beat him by taking his pieces off. I'm going to try and clock him because I don't have much left past that. So looking at this and knowing that I'm going to be losing the Stormstrider on the left, I need to be trying to get some good work out of it. I know that I no longer have the ability to take out the bomber. If I would have kept those pieces, yeah, sure, I could have actually done that. But now I just have to try and do whatever I can. So that's what I do, and I know that if I need this to go long, I have to start getting the scenario going my way as well. So I go over there with the Stormstrider on the right, start shooting the things that I can here on the right, trying and clear things away from my zone. Caine also doing some work, coming over, shooting off some of the models, and then putting Bullet Dodger now on himself. Of course, like he killed Savio last turn. I didn't mention it, but I mean, of course, that's one of the things that happened. So I put Bullet Dodger on myself, I gate crash back to behind the house, stay super safe. Meanwhile, on the left, I'm going to put my defender in the zone, trying to lock it down, run in one model, just again to try and use up whatever time I can. You can now see the clock here. Now he's down to 16 minutes. I charge in with my Stormstrider, and at first my idea is to try and take out this little tank here, just to try and make it harder for him to be bulldozering like things out of the zone. But my charge attack does no damage, whereas like the Electro Leap onto the objective actually takes some points off it. So I'm like, screw it. And because I have dual attack, I actually put my shots into the objective and destroy it. So at the end of this, you know, it wasn't a big turn for attrition. However, I was able to go and get up 2 points on scenario, which again, I just need him to be using as much time as possible. All right, so on his turn, yeah, this one really hurt. I mean, like, sure, the bomber came over here on the left and destroyed that Stormstrider. That was going to be obvious. Unfortunately, you know, like his little Ledfoot and Tredz just kind of like run through and go and push my defender out. So that's going to be a real problem, because if I want to, I can kill that Ledfoot and Tredz, but then I can't get myself in the zone. And if I want to get in the zone, I'd have to try and do it like on the left side. And if I do that, that bomber's killing me for sure. So that's not going to help. But the other part that I didn't think he'd be able to do, but he did, because again, that armor pierce 12 gun, it gets work done, is that he was able to shoot down and destroy my Strider on the right. So, oh, that really hurt. I really thought I'd be getting another turn out of it, but man, I mean, like, there's just a lot of guns here that start adding up to a lot of damage, and they can just take these things off. And I've seen this from Kieren several times. They'll like, you just see a battle engine and it'll just disappear. And like, oh, was that like your battle group shooting it off? Oh no, that was all the little stuff. So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of potential here. So from this, he was able to score the left zone, score the center zone. So now the scenario is a tied, but this is what I'm saying. This is why I need to get those scenario points up to try and keep this going as long as possible. And now I'm going to need to put like Caine into the right zone, because I need to score and I want to try and tempting him into trying to go for an assassination. So that's what I do. I use my defender to basically go up and kill Ledfoot and Tredz. Then the Squire, which I've now used all 3 times. I don't need anymore. It runs into the zone to contest. One of my mechanics runs into the left zone to contest. And then Caine easily goes in there. I say easily, but I actually made some toughs and things. Goes into the zone, shoots them down, shoots off some other things that are getting close. And then, just sitting in there for the point. So now it's 3-2. Caine's neck is sticking out there, but I would love for him to go after it. I believe at this point he's down to like 5 minutes, so I just need to try and get whatever I can. He kind of kicks into higher gear, though, and try and does whatever he can. Like, on the left side, I mean, he still has this tank, and this is what I was worried about. Pushes me out, doesn't do really anything else. Like, he tried walking up to the bomber, wasn't in an inch, and even though he could just, like, throw a bomb at me, he's like, no, that takes too long. It's not going to happen. He kills my little Squire that's in the center, so he can be scoring that zone again. And on the right, he just basically runs things into the zone. So after this, he has about 2 minutes left. He's going to be going up another 2 points. So now what is it? Like 4-3 or something? I don't know. But I need to be trying to get in there and trying to get some work. So I need Caine to keep on doing Caine things and shoot things down. And then, just keep on contesting. Keep on contesting. It's like Dory, keep on swimming. All right, so Caine does Caine things, goes over there, shoots down the world, clears out the zone, scores another point. The defender walks into the zone, shoots down a guy. Okay, that's good. My warrior model walks into the zone, doing good here. So with this, I contest a bit, I score, sounds pretty good. And all I can hope is that maybe he's not going to be able to kill through all my stuff and keep going for the scenario victory. So on his turn, though, he kicks into super high gear, basically just like pushing things out, killing them on the left where I need to, making a little wall so I can't get back into the zone, and then on the right, just throwing everything into the zone possible. So here, he's going to be scoring another 2 points. He just keeps on getting further ahead, and now I'm at a point where I can't really even contest that well. I think it's pretty much over. So on the left, I measure it out. There's no way I can get into the zone. So I basically put the defender and the last mechanic in there while I actually take a shot on the things on the right. You'd think I could be trying to hit that Ledfoot and Tredz or what this other pig tank that's in my face. But no, it's not the big deal anymore. I need to be trying to clear up my zone. But unfortunately, I came a little bit short. This is one where he was starting to make his toughs and I just don't have enough gunshots. I did make an honest mistake here, though. When I was trying to destroy the stone, I could have killed the stone much easier. I could have paid for a shot where he can't heal. I can basically give myself Grievous, and then he would not be able to do his little stone sacrifice things. The way I was seeing this after he already made several toughs is that I wouldn't have enough shots anyway, I kind of figured, so I didn't do it, but it's just the obvious thing, right? I should have done that shot, killed it, and then not have to kind of worry. That's why there's things that are dead out of the zone and things that are not dead in the zone. So this is awful. This means now that he can easily just win this turn because I didn't even counter score. So that's what he does is, like, again, he's down to like less than a minute. And it's like, okay, go. So all he needs to do with his little pig tank is run and be like, boop, I'm going to go and push my defender out of the zone. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go and boop and kill the other and like push the other thing out of the zone. And that's really it. I believe he came and like shot some other things too with the, the unit. But yeah, it didn't really matter. Push the things out of the zone. Don't need to do anything else. Score, and then win on scenario. All right, so I lost the game, and it was one of those ones where I was like, oh, it was so close. It could have worked so much better. Obviously the attrition really went against me. However, if we look back, the reason that the attrition went against me so badly was because of one key mistake. Again, if I would have not done the locomotion that I didn't need, or more obviously, not upkept that lightning shroud, which was not going to be a factor, well then Nemo 4 doesn't go down. even I get damage, I could be repairing, and then I have all that. Like, I can't express how much I lost there, right? That is a 18 point Nemo 4. That is also the, 17 point Dynamo, all going inert. Like, that was a crippling turn of events there, and it could have been easily avoided. And then I think all of a sudden, if that wouldn't have happened, I mean, now I can do so much more in my turn, right? I can try and take out the bomber. I can start, like, just trying to kill off all this other infantry. It's just, yeah, there's so much more it could have gone. So if you look at this and be like, oh, well, Caine2, that was a big, huge failure, that's not what I'm seeing at all. I'm looking at this and saying, wow, the difference of this game being close or being like a game that I win came down to one small mistake. Caine2 actually did fantastic. I mean, the big parts there where I thought like the spells were going to be doing some nice things, like for the fire for effect, that didn't really help because of an AoE, but normally that could have been doing much more work for me. The Savio thing, that was great. That took him a whole bunch of time and activations to try and figure out, but also just that personal output. We got to see here that from the back, he's not just sitting there and doing some spells and hoping to do nothing. No, getting in there, killing off things. Able Feet could normally like take off a heavy. We're just like, we're shooting a battle engine underneath the stone. That's not going to be working out too well. But yeah, I think Caine2 definitely has a lot of potential. I might want to try and think of better ways I could be trying to use it here in this force. But yeah, this is something I want to try again. Like, this is something where Caine2 in the past, I was like, oh, maybe I can find some janky play, but especially now in a world where like the other ways you could be trying to play this Storm Division, Storm Strider list, now that Haley 2 isn't one of your top casters, I think people should really be considering Caine2 as one of the real options. So there you go. Let me know down below whether you think I'm crazy or whether, yeah, I think there actually is something going on here for Caine2. And then otherwise, yeah, just let me know how you're liking these battle reports and things overall. I hope you're enjoying them. Again, a big, huge shout out to my patrons there on Patreon. If you want to support and pick some of my content, go check out the link down below. But yeah, otherwise, we'll catch you later. Bye.